Hi, today we're going to be talking about one of my new favorite belay devices, the Grigri Plus from Petzl. So why is this one of my new favorite belay devices? Because it does everything well. Do I think it's the perfect belay device? No. There's other belay devices that do certain things better than this? Yes. If I had to buy one belay device right now for the money, definitely the one I'd pick. Because it does everything pretty well. A lot different than its predecessors, the Grigri and Grigri 2. So first of all, what does it improve over the Grigri 2? The biggest problem I have with Grigri 2s is they wear out really, really fast, especially if you're using larger ropes. Most of the ropes I use are 10.5 and above, 10.5 to 11 millimeter, and they tend to be dirty ropes, and we wear through these belay devices really, really fast. About 2 years is about as good as we're going to get out of them before they're really wore out. So what we're going to do is what they've done now is they've added a Ware plate. That Ware plate allows the rope to run through there, even the larger ropes to run through there and not burn it up, okay? Which is definitely a plus, okay? Now, where does that wear happen on the other side? So if we do this, we're lowering somebody down, we wrap the rope over the top. If it pulled over the front, usually wasn't a problem because it has that little metal Ware plate in the old one. But this new one allows us to have that extra grip there and lower the people down real nice and smooth, and it doesn't wear out or cut up your ropes because it's wore out. So huge advantage there. What are some of the other problems I've had with the Grigri in general? Why don't I like it as a top rope belay device? It is not an auto-locking belay device, which means I've had people drop people almost all the way to the ground because it really didn't grip very well. I've been dropped 10, 15 feet where it didn't grip really well. Now I'm a bigger guy, of course, but it doesn't grab as well as I'd like it to. Now in lead climbing, that's a great thing. Gives you a little bit of cushion. In top roping, unnecessary. There's no real massive falls there that we need to, so I want it to lock up right away. The panic pulls. I've watched people be dropped all the way to the ground by pulling, and they just go, oh my gosh, you're going too fast, and they continue to keep pulling. And that definitely causes a problem. So what have they done to fix that? So the second thing they've done is they've put in the lead and top rope mode. So it's really springy in the top rope mode, or in the lead mode, and then it is not as springy in the top rope mode. And it's easy as switching it over. So I can just push it there. Now it's really grippy, almost to the point where I have to pull it with my hand to get it to lock into place. Now we're using a non-auto locking belay device, so we're just for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to go ahead, put my rope through, lock her in, same way as the old one. They have nice big pictures on the outside to check. You have your climber, our climber over here, and we've got our belayer hand on this side. So what does that allow it to do? So it engages much, much quicker in the top rope mode than it does when we're on lead. So if I'm on lead, you saw that one, that was in lead mode. It allows me to be able to run it through, and I can almost run it through without it even catching really on a nice fall, and it doesn't catch at all until I break, and then it will lock up. Okay? Now on top rope mode, it is much harder to do that. Any little jerk and this thing locks up. Just really super easy. And that is the big difference. Okay, that's the huge part about this. You're just going to see the spring has less tension in it and allows it to grip much, much faster. Okay? The other thing that's really nice about this is on the very back of the belay device, the old one used to have the metal, the aluminum here, cross all the way over. What that caused problems with, what I hated, was I constantly had to pull my rope forward, not a big deal, and then when I'd lock down the plate, it would hit the rope and I'd kind of have to force it around there. I like being able to just lock it open and down. It's kind of cool, not a huge feature, but I'll tell you what is. They've increased this little bump on the side here. So when I'm paying out rope in lead mode, so let me switch it to lead, and they've got a big clip they've got to make, and they're asking for slack, I can reach up, grab here, and grab this little piece of metal that they've now added, and I can pay out slack, really big chunks of slack. Now, if we're doing that, we definitely, I'm just doing that for demonstration, but we're definitely going to want to take our rope. It still allows us to hold onto a rope. This is why I like this better than, let's say, an eddy, which is laced backwards. For a lead climbing situation where I'm paying out a lot of rope, it is much better to have it here. And I can sit there and pay out rope. If they fall while I'm paying, I can break just by sliding my hand down. I still have my back 3 fingers on the brake side. This is still not an auto locking belay device. Okay, so I have to be able to move my hand down and bring that hand down in front. Even a lot of times people are teaching you to do it with 2 hands now. Either hand over hand or 2 hands and brake. So that's a huge advantage. So remember, if you grab the whole belay device, just like the old one though, it is never going to engage. It is just like it is before, which is where I like the eddy in a lot of situations. So we have that. Then what do we do with probably the most common problem I see with eddies, or I mean not eddies, but Grigris, is what we call panic pulls. Panic pulling meaning that happens in 2 ways. You pulled it all the way before the person has even started, and they drop the person because they've sat there before they've weighted the rope. So they're saying, come on, they're coming down, and you're going to go ahead and drop them down. So they've sit there and they're tied up, they haven't even weighted it yet. And what you're going to do is you're going to open the belay device up, which please do not do this. And like I said, not a training video. This is for just the purposes of here. I've got my hand here just towing it up. I can still override the belay device for that. I don't like that feature. Okay? But for panic pulls, there is a slight advantage. And the idea that if I lock it up and I pull hard, I can pull, and it relocks. Okay? And it stopped the belayer. I can override it though. I can still pull down and override that problem. Because all it did was just change the camming angle. So let me show you that without the rope in there. So if I pull the camming angle all the way forward, I pull it back, and it will click and lock all the way forward again. I can still pull past that point. I do not like that. That is not my favorite thing. Saying that, having a version of a panic pull feature is much better than nothing. So that's definitely going to help. And in the top rope mode, it does work really well. Okay, because it's going to catch up and it will jump right back into performance right after there, as long as you're sitting there and holding. You still have to have your hand on the rope when you're letting down, slack. It is, whoops, misclipped. So I'm still holding my hand down here as I'm belaying, or as I'm lowering down, and my secondary hand is opening the belay device. So that's still important. You cannot let go of that brake hand ever. That is the most important thing we do, is keep that hand on the brake hand, however you belay. Last thing. I do not like the fact that what they've tried to do is change and say that this belay device is designed for 11mm ropes. I have 11mm rope belay devices that work very, very well. This is not one of them. At about 10mm rope, which is what we're using here, 10mm works very, very well. I like 10mm in this device. 10.5 pushing it, 11mm. I think what they did is they just took the Grigri 2, in my opinion, and changed it from the Grigri 2 and just went, okay, now it was 10.3 to, whatever it was, 9.2 or whatever, and now we've gone all the way up to 11. It still calls the sweet spot the 8.9 to 10.5. So they increased the sweet spot a little bit. I've not noticed a big difference. I still think the 10.5mm ropes are a little draggy, and 11mm is almost pulling it through. Is this a reason not to get this belay device? No. most of you are not going to be, most of the belaying I do nowadays is at ropes courses and at crags where I'm doing lots and lots of kids, and I don't have to, I'm not doing a lot of climbing myself. So I don't like it for that. But for you as a belayer that you're going to be going out there and maybe doing a bunch of different stuff in a day, a little lead climb in the afternoon, some top roping in the morning, definitely well worth the money. So advantages, Ware plates to help with wear. This is going to last a lot longer. The complete covered, so you can't get anything stuck in that device, so it won't come all the way down. A little easier to open and close with the rope in. That extra piece of metal on the side, the camming device for panic pulls. The huge advantage of having this as a top rope and lead device. These are all big, and for the price, it's a killer deal. $129, $150, mattering where you purchase it. And they, you get them online all day long. REI sells them. Something definitely to have. They've given you this little extra area to write your name in there. I don't see that. It's pretty hard to write your name in there, truthfully, unless you're going to do it with like a little permanent marker or something like that. It's just going to wear off. But another place to put your name. Small, still works very well. Lowers down without a lot of heat. So I definitely would recommend this to anybody that's looking to purchase a belay device. This is the Grigri Plus, and as always, have a great day.